Welcome back, everybody. It's Wednesday, October 11th, 2023. Born on this date in 1967, former NFL offensive lineman Ron Selby of Birmingham. He played college ball at Auburn. Now let's talk Democrat Party drama, accusations against a judge, and the man who left quite the car collection behind. I'm Mike Morgan, and we're down in Alabama. National Democrats are coming down on the state Democrats again. The back and forth has gone on too long to do all the background here, but you may recall that a few years ago the Democratic National Committee forced changes on the Alabama Democratic Party, and that shift included a turnover of leadership and the introduction of several identity-based caucuses, such as the LGBTQ+ caucus, the Asian Pacific Islander caucus, the Hispanic caucus, the Native American caucus, the Under 35 caucus, and the Disabled Persons caucus. Veteran lawmaker Joe Reed is among the old guard Democrats and the leader of the Alabama Democratic Conference, which is the Democrats' Black Caucus. His faction came back into control of the state party, elected Randy Kelly as chair, and claimed that the new diversity caucuses took power away from the Black Caucus. So the state party's executive committee did away with the caucuses by voting to change bylaws. Now, AL.com's Mike Cason reports that the DNC has told the state party to redo the vote that changed those bylaws. That comes after a hearing in September and listening to more arguments last week. The DNC passed a resolution that took issue with the way the vote was held, claiming some members did not receive notice of the meeting and others were told they couldn't vote because they hadn't paid a fee. The resolution also orders Kelly to propose a new set of bylaws by November 28th and for the executive committee, with all members receiving a 10-day notice, to vote on the proposed bylaws by February 1st. Kelly said that they'd do what the DNC has asked. An Alabama judge is under the microscope after an audit found he improperly spent more than $140,000 of court funds, reports AL.com's Howard Koplowitz. The audit was of Lauderdale County Circuit Judge Gil Self in July. It found that although he repaid most of the money, he was not allowed to make some of the purchases, and he didn't have documentation for others. Purchases included those for meals, alcohol, travel expenses for guests, handguns, and electronics. Auditors also said Self hired his son, paid bonuses to a former assistant, and paid other contract employee wages, but that work for that money had not been verified. Judge Self told the Alabama Daily News that the COVID pandemic led to sloppy accounting practices within his office. Earl Trammer of Warrior, Alabama, worked on cars for a living. He also collected them along the way, reports AL.com's Howard Koplowitz. He was 88 years old when he passed away in May of 22. His widow, Patricia, sold one of the vehicles, a 1996 Porsche, to Alabama car wholesaler John Pierce and his business partner, radio talk show host John Clay Wolf. Then she reached out to Pierce and Wolf again to offer to sell a 97 Corvette. Now, Trammell's collection is already sounding pretty cool, but by the time that they were done doing the Corvette deal, it had expanded to the entire remaining collection, 22 vehicles in all, worth around $1 million. Many of the vehicles were purchased new and just put away into basements, warehouses, and a barn, some still with the interior covered in plastic and stickers in the windows. The collection includes numerous Corvettes, including a 71 Stingray and a 98 pace car from Indy, a 65 Mustang convertible, a 63 Coupe de Ville. Wolf said he's never seen anything like it in 3 decades of buying and selling cars. He's also unsure of what's next because he knows his partner will sell them and he doesn't want to turn them loose, just like Earl Trammell never did. Well, I didn't mention it yesterday, but for those who noticed American flags at half-staff or those who fly them on their own, Governor Kay Ivey has ordered the lowering for this week to honor people in Israel killed by the Hamas attacks. Quote, "The repeated acts of terrorism and violation of Israel's sovereignty must be stopped at all costs. Those responsible for the deaths of hundreds of Israeli citizens are not only the enemies of our Jewish brothers and sisters, but the United States and her people too. For more than 80 years, Alabama has proudly stood in solidarity with the State of Israel, and we will continue to do so through these challenging times. Thank y'all so much for listening. It's never too early to start a weekend, so I'll be out a couple days, but look forward to getting back to it on Monday. Podcast and newsletter will continue without me, however, so check it out. And as always, we're open 24 hours a day and 7 days a week on the World Wide Web at al.com.